Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a fairly balanced track, close to a bingo. I would have top water through a P. The W is the non-bingo-y tile, so if I don't have a bingo, I'll be looking to play that off. And if I played off TOW, the rack lever rate is pretty good. Now, do I have a 7? I don't think I do. And possible 8s. Well, wort is an ending with TEA, but I'm not seeing anything. And the other W suffixes are where and where, but with OTT, that's unlikely. No P. And a 50-point start for opponent. Let me briefly consider these floaters. Nothing with the Z. So I've got water with TO. Not seeing anything with the E. How about the B? No. Now I have out, but out water not good. And finally the S. No, not seeing anything. So what to do here? Well, I do have what in this spot for 23, leaving a decent rackly, which goes particularly well with the S. So, wow, only 23, but I don't think I can hope for much more than that. Just wondering if toe would score more. So that's 23. And that's 23. Well, I don't think there's much to choose between those. Pretty good. Am I bingoing? I have the retain set, which is the best 6-letter set without a blank. But it doesn't make anything with an A. I think A and V are pretty much the only tiles it doesn't make something with. But it makes quite a few bingos with the S. Will that remain available? I think it's 6 different bingos with the S. And it makes Atterbrine with the B, but toe doesn't take an R. And it makes inorate through the U, but both the U and the S could be blocked, and I don't have a 7. If the S isn't blocked, it is. Okay. Is the D available? No. Okay, this is looking pretty grim in terms of bingoing this turn. Could I have something through ES? Very difficult to see with so many vowels. And I'm not seeing anything. What about MU? No, I'm not seeing anything. But retain is so good, I'm tempted to play Azo, and Azo rather than Zoa because I'm creating a 7-letter lane in column 3. I'm going with this. So, Nart G, does that play? What does Med take at the end? Well, it certainly takes an S, which I don't have. I don't think it takes anything else. So Nart G does play in column 3. Will that stay available? And I have Nart G's as a non-bingo in column 8, which will score quite well. Azo takes an N, but EW doesn't take an A. NES not good. I'm just wondering if Jantia is good. Not sure about that. Now, opponent has taken the lane I created. Wow. Always frustrating when you have a bingo and it doesn't go. These are called orphan bingos. If Jantia were good, it doesn't go anywhere. The J was a particularly poor pick after playing off one tile because I don't think there are many 8s. with the J. So do I wreck the rack like this for 48 points? Yes, I do. And I draw the blank, which is good. But a few problematic high-scoring tiles. Ideally, one has one or none of them, and I have three. I'd certainly like to get rid of the V, but can I get rid of P or H with it? Wage takes an S in front. Column 4, quite hot. Could there be a bingo here? I don't think so. Just too many high-scoring tiles which don't go well together. So Pav is good. I could play Pav through the A of waged. And so only takes an N. Wow, 51 points for opponent. They are scoring well. And look at this, 1830 rating. So super strong player. Just wondering if I have a 5-letter play beside Kex, and I don't think I do. I think the best I can do is Vine. Yeah. What goes after WE? Just the N. Now, I do have Pav here, which is quite nice, 32 points. I don't have the A. Anything ending EV? No. Gosh, this is problematic. Azo takes an L in front. I do have the tiles with the blank as an S for a ship ending with ENV, but I'm not seeing anything. So what about keeping the V and playing off H and P? 34 points, that's pretty good. Not creating anything massive and taking out a scoring spot in column 5. I am going with this. Pretty good. I think I am bingoing now. This looks very synergetic. So, what do I have? Not seeing anything beginning with N. Vinegar, but the R's in the wrong spot. Do I have anything with the blank as an S? No, well, I haven't seen anything so far, but I am very confident that there is a bingo here. Not seeing anything with the J. Opponent could obstruct all of that. He does, or she does lead with a parallel play in columns 7 or 9. Let me check Mead. Invalid, few. So I think it is just an S that it takes. So what about an N in any spot? Havening. Well, that doesn't work. Ravening, again, it's in slightly the wrong spot. Great, opponent doesn't block the floaters in Narc G. Provides a couple of other floaters. I'm wondering about grieving. Is that good? I may be confusing it with something else. And it's good. Fantastic. Thank goodness for Void Challenge. I would have been really concerned about playing that in a 5-point penalty challenge game. There's definitely a play like that which isn't good. Now I draw the Q with the U, which is good, and I have a lead. So I have Quinn in column 12 for a big score. U takes nothing in front, so the triple word square top left, not particularly valuable. I was going to say I would have Alpha Quinn through the right floater, but that doesn't contain an E, so I don't think I have an 8 here. Quinn will provide the opportunity of a QU play in row A, which would be a big score. but only 2 U's to come. I'm not seeing any other Q spots. Well, what about row B? QUA. Well, just QUA works. And I don't think I'm going to be able to play the F with the Q, in which case AEFLN is not a bad rack leave. And I'm just checking that I don't have anything longer than qua, and I don't. I don't know if grieving takes an S. I don't think it does. Any other Q spots? HEP has really sewn up the top left of the board. Very slim pickings. Pax takes nothing before or after it. EW takes a few things. And I do have an N for Azon. So I could play Nef holding on to QU. QU does have positive value. 33 points for Nef. Worth thinking about, but I think Quinn would be a better play. But I'm not so sure about Qua. Because if I play Nef, I've still got Qua available for a guaranteed 30-odd points, and that's not an obvious place in which to play. Nef has the downside of creating a double-double lane for bingos beginning RE or RA, and still 5 R's to come. Opponent taking a while with this play, already used up nearly 3 more minutes than I have. Are they about to bingo? My lead just 15 points. No, but a 31 point play, and Quinn remains available. Fantastic. Let me see what this scores. 46 points. I think this is the play. Yeah, and there's no alternative similar plays in this spot. Great. I draw an S. Still 2 more to come. Not seeing a bingo here. But I've got good scoring tiles in the F and the H, so I should be able to leave a decent rack leave. I don't have anything with the Q. Opponent changes. Wow. And I have a 30-point lead. Can I pile the pressure on? What can I do with F and H? Wow, I have FOH in column 2 for a big score, but putting an H right next to this triple word square doesn't feel great. But let me see what it looks like. 34 points. Not much goes in front of Oda. C and S, 2 C's to come. So I could be punished if opponent has C and a blank. But this rack lever seal is pretty nice. Am I talking myself into making this play, and is it absolute madness? I have an alternative. What about doing this? Half for 26, keeping soul. Foe was 34 points. So this is only 8 fewer points and doesn't provide opponent the opportunity to do anything at all off the play I'm making. And I'm keeping in this spot to the left of toe available for my S. And although sail is better than soul, there isn't a huge difference between those two. So I think this is a better play. Is there an even better one? Not that I can see. I'm going with this. Well, it's me who draws the C. So what do I have? Not seeing a 7 here. There could be one. If an E were an O, I would have coolest oscillates. Now, what about this floating R? No. Floating G? No. How frustrating. I have an L for lasso. Not seeing anything fantastic there. Now through an R, it's electors, electros, and selector. What about MU? Doesn't look promising. B not really available. So I think I've considered everything, and opponent plays razor for just 16. Fantastic. And I don't have a 7, otherwise it may play in row K. Very tempting to burn the S to put on the end of razor. It's all it takes. But what can I do there? Co's for 27, keeping let. Doesn't feel great. But I do have a 40-point lead, so this would give me a 70-point lead. Just coming back to the G, in case I've missed something. Nothing I've got goes after year. I think it's just a K. So, what can I do with this rack if I don't burn the S on the end of razor? "12 minutes on my clock." Really tight board, but I think that's what you would expect playing against a strong player. I think I do need to put the S there. What's opponent done? He's just played 2 R's. So I was looking at Co's, keeping ELT. Has opponents signaled they've got an S? Still 1 blank to come. Co's takes out the toe front hook and the razor hook. And there's nowhere else for an S unless grieving takes one. ELT, not a great rack leave, especially with 3 L's to come. Can I... Well, I can play Sockle. Keeping ET, that's a slightly better rack leave. Opponent could have a big score in column 8. If they play in column 2, they'll be creating opportunities. 29 points, pretty decent score. I'm going with this. Wow, what a pick. I replace the S I played and I draw the blank. So a D or an R, I would have dry stone. Do I have anything with S in second place? Or any 7s at all? I have honesty as a 7. That plays either side of the E of Sockle. Wow, it nearly plays in column 2. Her and Odar are good. But the S, 1 square too low. Honesty plays under the C of Sockle. Wow. And opponent takes out all of those spots. Doesn't provide a D or an R. But surely I have something through these floaters. How long do I have? 10 minutes. Wow. I'm looking at stone plus Y blank. Honesty doesn't take any hooks. Where to start? Bayonets through a B or an A. Neither's available. Evite takes an L in front. Not seeing a bingo there. So what about the V? Doesn't look hopeful. So I'm really looking at the I, which looks good. The T, less so, and the E. What about I stone? I think I stone is good. For 83. Bang! Yes, it is. Fantastic. Wow, that nearly evaded me. Now, I have a 110-point lead, which is good. Just 19 tiles to come. So, opponent's opportunities for multiple bingos are dwindling. I don't have a U, but I do have yet another S, so I could play chins. Top right, 39 points. That could be enough to get me over the line. But look at this rack. I have silicon. Wow. And I have silicon in column 2 because of Stowe, and that remains available. This is looking good. So, not to go on tilt, is there somewhere better than column 2? Let me check grievings. I really don't think this is good. And it's not. So, I do have silicon in column 2. Do I have a bingo anywhere else? 9 minutes on my clock. Levite, good, but silicon doesn't play there. Well, silicone. Silicon takes an E, surely. Yes, it does. Fantastic. And I draw a U, so I have quag top right. Everything is going swimmingly. And just 7 tiles in the bag. So this game is in the bag, and I lead by nearly 200 points. No U's left, so quag likely to remain available unless an opponent does spot that and take it out. That's good play by opponent. So what am I going to do now? I think the bingo run has ended. And not much to hope for with this rat. No scoring tiles, but the hard work's been done. I do lead, and nothing big in the bag. F and B, both of which could go above the E of I stone. But to get any value from that, well, it's going to be a struggle, so I don't particularly need to block that. Well, if I had an S, I would have goo chins. That would be fun. So 6 tiles in the bag. How best to proceed? I have an L for Levite. Eurolog is good. 6 tiles left, so playing off 5 would leave 1 in the bag. Do I have something parallel to silicone? Is ag glue good? Am I making that up? So it plays here for 14. That's not very much. Opponent may have the N for chin. 7 minutes on my clock. Always a bit tricky in this situation where the game is won and you've no idea what to do. So, what about taking out this spot? I can play Rowl for 16, keeping a go, and I think I will. Gosh, not too far from a bingo. Wasn't really expecting that. But I don't think I have one. And not many lanes to consider. I think it's just the floating T that's available now. Okay, so opponent's emptied the bag. He does not have a bingo. So can I get to 500 points? I've drawn the N for chin. So what do I have through this G? Naga. Opponent's not going out in 1, so can I go out in 2? Only 18 points and a horrible rack leaf, so I don't think that's a good idea. Where can my P play? Nearly had Pagan in column 14, but NI not good. No, I'm not seeing anything 4 or 5 letters, which goes in column 14. Can't see anything over the top of Vigil. I no longer have the L. Do I have something ending I or I something? No, not that I can see. I do have a spot for PO in column 2, so maybe I should hang on to PO. If I hang on to PO and A for that spot, is there somewhere I can play Gant or Nat? Well, there is. Tangy for 8, so will Poa remain available? If it's taken, then I do have other spots for it. I have column 14, so Tangy may not have been best, but it guarantees the out in 2. But I haven't reached 500 yet. I will if Poa remains available in column 2. Supposing it's blocked, what's the best I can do? I have Poa in column 14 in 2 spots. On this triple letter square, it scores 13, and that's the most. Opar also good. For 17 points, but still not as much as column 2. Great. This spot remains available. Poa for 26. And the final score, 339 for my opponent, 521 for me, a winning margin of 182 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Huge score. Was not expecting that against such a strong opponent. Let's see what I missed. So it was opponent to go fast. They played Zebus. And now I played Toe for 23, 13 off the pace, but keeping rate, which is a good rack leave. And I think rate is 13 better than O. O probably worth -1 or -2. And rate, I would say, it feels like a between 10 and 15 point play. So I think that I prefer my play. These moves are either the same or I think mine is better. Opponent's rack not good. Plays Med. Phew, no miss bingo here. Always embarrassing when you've got a retain rack and you miss one. It does happen. So I play Azo for 12. And I think the rack lever retain is so strong that I am happy that it's better than these options being suggested. Opponent plays Waged. Oh, wow, Jantier is good. Playable at J2. Because of Ute. Oh, wow, 100-point play. And, of course, Narchi available with AA. So, yeah, pretty poor show there with the missed bingos. But Narchi's for 48 was the best of the non-bingo options. Now, opponent's rack plays Kex. And this was a rack I struggled with. J2 Vine, that's nice for 36. What do? I play Hep for 34. Yeah, which also I think is fine. Opponent's rack plays Ojim. And now I do have a bingo, and wow, I overlooked this spot. I think I didn't overlook it, but I didn't identify any of the great plays which were playable there. I remember referring to the N hook for Azon. But there you go. So Vinegar and Vintage better plays, and then Grieving and Grievant and others for smaller amounts. And this put me into a 15-point lead. Opponent plays Yeah. And I have Quinn for 46, and I like that. Horrible rack for opponent, so I think I had the better of the tiles. Opponent changes. F2, foe, I didn't do that. This is where I was contemplating foe and then went for half, which doesn't appear, but I think has merit. These bigger scores here burn the S, and the rack leave after half was good. I think it was Soul. Opponent's rack, no bingo. Plays Razor, keeping AEI TV. Okay, not a monster and not an S. And Wow, closet. Well, that's putting a C in the middle of column 1. K4 select. Yeah, maybe worth doing. It places a C above this double letter square rather than a vowel. I went with Sokol for 29, but not much between these plays. You can see how bunched the scores are. Opponent's rack plays Evite, could have played Caddy. Now, here we go. I play Stone for 83, but I2. Sintone available for 91. Gosh, that's a big score. Wasn't expecting it to score more than the triple word square, but it does, and a few other options available. Wow, no bingo for opponent, and die quarter playable. So what does opponent do? Plays Vigil for 20. Gosh, well, I think that is a suboptimal play. Now, look at this. Fantastic. Just after playing a bingo. A back-to-back bingo is always great fun because you know it's partly down to very little skill on your own part. And obviously identifying the bingo is skill, but having the tiles to create one is pure randomness. So I get 86 for Silicone, Isocline available in the same spot, and Silicon in column 2, which I nearly played in haste. So I now have a 180 point lead, and the game is mine. Opponent plays Chi, which was nice. And I play Rowell here. It takes out this triple letter square above the E. Wasn't a great play, but I don't think any of the top plays were massively better. Opponent plays Bow. F2 Power. I spotted that, but decided to hang on to that as a last move play, given the bag is empty, and play Tangi. Opponent plays Freight, and Power for 26 is best. So what a game. Absolutely fantastic fun. Always good to play against the stronger players, and also great to beat them and to score over 500 points. So many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.